Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Idaho Business Podcast. Joining me today is Morgan Mckell, business consultant, mindset coach, owner and founder of Next Level Humans, and owner and founder of Monarch Social Brand, right?
That's right.
Social
Monarch
brand.
Social Brand.
And, I know everyone struggles with digital marketing. I know they all try to do it themselves and they think, let's try to do this. Let's spend a little bit of money here, a little money here. They don't see the results immediately. They automatically think, oh, this is not worth it. So I figured having some more digital marketing specialists on the show would be amazing. He has offices in his main office is in Salt Lake City, but he does have an office in Pocatello. So welcome to the show, Morgan.
Oh, thank you. I'm stoked to be here.
Awesome. Well, as always, we're sponsored by Sensations. These guys have a phenomenal tanning salon in Pocatello and Twin Falls. These guys are located next to Gold's Gym. So if you guys need your tanning on, going on vacation, and your girlfriend, your boyfriend's telling you you're looking too pale, get over there, get your mani-pedi on, get your massage on. Here soon, be looking forward to some promotional deals we're going to be offering if you go into their offices and mention the podcast. But go and give them a visit in Twin Falls or Pocatello. All right, Morgan. So how did you get into the business? Well, actually, you know what? First, I'm getting hold of myself. Getting ahead of myself here. Let's start more about you. Did I get everything right on your introduction?
Yeah, you got everything right. I own two businesses, Next Level Humans, which is a consulting business, and then Monarch Social, which is my main baby, and where I spend most of my time doing the digital marketing thing. So
awesome. Very cool. So what made you decide to bring a satellite office into Pocatello?
Well, what we're doing here in Salt Lake, I don't see a lot of other companies doing exactly what we do here in Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a funny story. It was in the middle of the pandemic and businesses were closing down and not staying open. And I'm one of those guys that says, man, when everyone's going left, go right. And I was like, where can we do this in the middle of a pandemic that we don't have to close down, or where can we expand? Like when everyone's contracting, how does Monarch expand? And I looked up in Idaho and I saw that there were some rules that were a little bit more relaxed than Salt Lake. And so I went up there and I got a space. And when I looked at the competition up there, there wasn't anybody really. There were certain companies here and there that were doing bits and pieces of what we do, but not like the whole package. And so last July is when I went up there. We got a spot and an office, and we opened in the middle of the last year. So that's kind of how that unfolded. I was just kind of, I wanted to be different, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I was just looking around, and it was super sad. I had a lot of friends, and that owned businesses that were closing theirs, and I was like, nah, we got to expand during this time. I think it's an opportunity, and that's how we ended up there.
I love hearing those stories of turmoil and then finding a way to win. Of course, not everyone has that same opportunity to find a way to win, being a restaurant or some of these other industries that were highly affected by the pandemic.
Yeah, and I have to say, there are businesses that rely on that foot traffic to come in. And, thank goodness that we're a digital media company. And so everything that we do is online. So it's not like we necessarily rely on foot traffic coming in our door. So we're very fortunate to be in the spot that we were to be able to do that.
That's great. So what are some of the services you're offering with the Monarch Social brands? Just so some of our listeners can understand and maybe reach out to you.
So we do all things online. So anything from website design, creation, maintenance, and that goes right into SEO, search engine optimization. We also run ads, so Facebook, Instagram ads. We do tons of campaigns on those. And then we also run like your Google pay-per-click ads and your Google AdWords, those type of things. And then we also have a full production side of things where we actually do video and photography. And the last thing is content posting. So then there's a lot of businesses that are really good at what they do, but they suck at posting on their Facebook or their Instagram. So, you know, we have account managers for that, where we can come in and actually make your content and post for you and interact as you on your account.
Very cool. Well, very cool. That's good to know. So, you know, most people out there, you know, have kind of a story of maybe one of their biggest fails within business as well. You know, and people with social media, like I said before previously, is they feel like they're failing all the time because maybe they're not enough well read, and it's a lot to know within the Google universe, with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn universes, that, you know, it's better to hire out, you know, and I'm a huge component for finding people to hire out things that you're not a professional at.
Yeah, I kind of look at things as, you know, how much time, like how much are you worth as a business owner? And if you're going to go spend 20, 30 hours trying to learn a new skill, but in that 20, 30 hours, you could be doing what you're great at, whether that's sales or making a product or whatever it is, you're going to save time, energy, and you're going to shorten the gap to find out, to find those customers. Like, for example, if you're trying to learn social media, if you're trying to learn SEO, you'll shorten the gap when you get those people, but then you're also going to have more time on your hands to make more money for your company or to do other things in your business that make the most sense, that you're good at.
I like it. I like it. So what are one of the things you see, the biggest mistakes you see that people on their own are doing with their social media advertising?
With social media is, they're not consistent. So like, you'll get business owners that will come in and they'll get like that fire, that motivation for like a week and like post for like a week, maybe even 2 weeks. And then they just nosedive for like a month, and then they'll come back strong, and they're just not consistent. I would much rather have a business owner posting 2 times a week consistently for 6 months than a week at a time here and a week at a time there. So consistency is a really big thing. And then there's 3 that came to mind. So the next one is call to actions. For example, I was talking to my buddy. He owns an MMA gym down here in Salt Lake. And, you know, I'm a huge proponent of social media. So I said, man, like, you got to start posting. So he started posting. And like 3 months go by, and I said, hey, have you seen anything from that? And he's like, dude, I really haven't seen much from it. And so I started looking at his posts, and there was no CTAs, call to actions. So he would post about like what he has going on, but there was no invitations to get your service. On the flip side, of other companies that only do CTAs, that only say, hey, buy now, this is our product, this is what you're doing. And so in that, it's really bringing value with the right number of call to actions. That's what I would say. So being consistent at posting, not only just asking for people's service and business and money, but actually providing value, and then having an easy way to either get in contact with you or to book now or to buy your product.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Do you see that too many people have, you know, when either they have no call to action or they have 1,000 call to actions?
Exactly. They either, it's black or white with some business owners. Like, you know, you go to some business owners, Facebook or Instagram right now, and it's nothing but, we do this, call me now. We do this, we have this sell. You know, and it's only just sell, sell, sell. And I think business owners need to wrap their mind around that they have to provide value. It's not just your service or your product. You have to get your people engaged with you to provide value somehow.
Yep. Take the we and the I, all that stuff out of your content and put you, yours, and what you can do for them. That's the big one.
Exactly. To give an example of that, you know, like there's a ton of realtors out there, you know, there's so many realtors out there, and a lot of times they're just like, hey, if you're buying or selling a house, talk to me, buying or selling a house. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, he's a realtor, and we came up with some really cool plans for him of content that's valuable. 10 things to get your house ready to sell, 5 things every buyer should know, little things that he would write up And then all of a sudden you have all this engagement happening because he's actually providing value, and he's not just saying, hey, if you're selling your house, I want to know about it. Hey, if you need to
Exactly.
buy a house, I need to know about it. But he was actually providing value to his, his online platform. And then he started getting that engagement. And that's how he got really, really successful, honestly.
I love that. I've said this in past episodes before, but just about adding value to your potential customers. Like if you're a roofer, hey, what are 5 ways that you know that your roof is about to fail? Stuff like that.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing. So it applies to everything. Within our business, I own a janitorial business throughout Idaho. And one of the big things we offer on our website is 10 bad ideas when hiring your next cleaning company. They're funny, they're goofy, but they're the truth. So
And it's
people
valuable.
understand. And
And
it's
you want
valuable.
to
And it's
connect
not
with that.
exactly. So that's what you need to find within your marketing people. So I'm glad Morgan, you're speaking the truth here for sure. I love it. So now within business, you started multiple businesses. You've been in
Yeah.
the business world for a while now. What's one of your biggest maybe fails, and what have you learned from that?
Oh man. Okay.
And some people call them different things. Fails, their learning experiences, everything. But I think these are always good to learn from people, because I think in podcasts you hear only the good, and sometimes you get a lot of learning experiences from the fails. And I've shared a lot of mine on the podcast. So
Yeah, for sure. No, I have, if you're not failing, you're not innovating, or you're not, you're not pushing the envelope, and you're not really seeing what you're capable of. So the two that really stick out to me, I'll start with the first one, is my last company. I owned a brick and mortar retail location down here in Salt Lake, and we grew it to 14 locations over 3 states, and we sold that about 3 years ago. Okay.
wow.
But inside of that, when we were growing, we grew completely wrong. Inside of that business, I have more fails than you can even imagine. But some of the one of the big ones was we didn't know how to hire. We were just 2 tattooed punk young kids just trying to make it. And so we would hire too fast. We grew on credit. And so we hired all our friends, and we went from 3 stores to 5 stores, and then back down to 3 stores, and then fired all our friends after hiring them. And that was a humbling experience. And the crappy thing is that we did that again. So then finally we got to 5 stores and wanted to go to 9 stores. So we went from 5 to 9, back down to 7, and we had to figure it out. And then once we figured that out, of like, okay, what does hiring look like? How do you hire slow? Not just, oh, that guy's a good guy, and we had a great conversation, now I want him to work for me, but like, are they actually qualified? And then not growing on credit, not growing on
Yep.
pie in the sky type numbers, but really, really having cash in hand, and understanding that cash flow is king, not necessarily cash, but cash flow is king, and really nailing that down. But those were some of my biggest fails, is looking at friends and family and like firing them and saying, hey, I hired you a month ago and you left your other thing, but sorry, I don't have a job for you anymore.
Yep. I like that, man. It's nepotism. That's the one. I think they say that's one of the biggest killers of businesses right there. And it reminds me of a podcast episode I literally just got done with today. I don't know if you've heard of Ed Milet.
I love Ed Milet. He's the man.
Ed Milet is a stud, and he was on the show with Tim Grover, who was the trainer.
Grover. Relentless.
Yeah.
Great book.
Relentless. He's coming out with a new one called Winning, which I'm just going to get as soon as we get off this this podcast. Yeah. But Tim Grover said something really stood out to me about truth and honesty. And I'm going to tie this back into nepotism in a way, and running your business that way with family and close friends. He says, when it comes down to truth and honesty, when you're honest and you let, your friend or your family know, hey, I'm being honest with you right now with your performance or something like that, or I'm going to be truthful with you with what's going on. The right type of person takes truth and honesty and creates action behind it. But many people are led to emotion. And that's why nepotism kills businesses, because it's just like Morgan stands up to your best friend or your cousin, and you tell them truth and honesty. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe some did. That said, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna resolve this stuff, and I'm gonna be a better person. But I guarantee you, a vast majority of them we're like, oh, that Morgan is a son of a,
And I think it's
Screw
very
him.
common in, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like being misunderstood is a thing that happens.
Mhm.
You have to make hard decisions that not everyone agrees on, but you have to not only make decisions for the company, like you're not making decisions just for yourself, like you're making decisions just like for the company and for the, like, to
Yep.
not kill your business. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so when you make decisions, you're very misunderstood sometimes. Why did
Yep.
you hire that person? Why did you fire? Why did you close? Why did we open? And everyone's going to have an opinion or a judgment about you. But I think that just comes, with being an entrepreneur, making those hard decisions and knowing
Yep.
what's right for your company and having, the data, but also that gut feeling of that entrepreneurial spirit that says, hey, this is what we got to do. But being
Yep.
misunderstood is a thing I've struggled with my entire business career. So
Exactly. One thing I've struggled with too is it's like, especially as you're beginning things. I've started this podcast where over 100 episodes in for a year now. At first, I
awesome.
was just like, oh my gosh, I'm a freaking idiot. People are going to be like, this guy is a moron. I kept thinking like, oh man, I'm going to get trolled so hard. But then I literally listening to this episode with Tim Grover and Ed Milet, they were saying, if you can't deal with people not liking you and people voicing their critical opinion upon you, give up now, because that's what winning's about.
I think it was Gary Vee or someone that said, if you want to make everyone happy, go run a lemonade stand or go sell ice cream. That's what he says. If you want to make everyone happy, go sell ice cream, because you're not going to make everyone happy in business.
Exactly. Yep. You try to be honest, you try to be fair, but there's always going to be those people that don't like you because of you, because your eye color, your hair color, whatever it is. They don't care. They just
Yeah.
Haters going to be haters, and they're going to negativity, and they, the misery loves company. And that's what it comes down to as well.
Hey, and I'll say this for your listeners, Spencer, if you're a business owner and you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. All right. So like you have to have the haters. Like haters
Exactly.
come along with the title. All right. With business owner.
Yep.
Like it's a thing that happens. Don't be worried about them. Put your
Yep.
blinders on, grind, and just work. Just work.
It is true. Like, so I think too many people are just concerned about what other people think, because social media is a platform to post all your perfections, not the everyday life. So, when you see me on these podcasts, my team doesn't edit out much, so you see the real me. I am a goofball. So, and
Awesome.
I don't care anymore. So it's been fun. So
Awesome.
well, let's get into the lightning round here. The lightning round is sponsored by the Lookout Credit Union here in Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Blackfoot, and Burley, Idaho. And I know they're probably going to be expanding more. I'm not the heads of their credit union, but these guys are ambitious. They're hard workers, and they're just a phenomenal bunch of people, good people to work with. If you go into one of their branches, any of them, and you mention that you heard about them on the podcast, as you open up a new account, you're going to get a free swag bag full of your hats, your shirts, your beer koozies, whatever you want. It's in this bag. It's just for you, just for podcast listeners. So go to the Lookout Credit Union branches and take actions today and get your account going. Not just for the swag bag, but just for their great service and their willingness for them to serve you. So, all right, Morgan, what's maybe the best book? I listened to one of your podcasts, and I know there was a software you were talking about that really changed the game for you guys. But maybe a best book or tool or software you've used or currently using, and why is it so great?
Okay, so best book. Let's say I'm going to give two. I'm going to say Good to Great by Jim Collins, I believe, and let's do Five Temptations of a CEO by Patrick Lencioni. Always love those books. I always go back to them, and I think that they're very helpful for me. Best tool or software is right now, if you have a team, and this is like team specific, is a team management software. So we use Monday. And Monday manages all our different tasks, and I love it. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but I am a huge proponent of them because it's so useful. How to stay up on top of everything, how to communicate, and just how to process all of your different tasks out. So Monday is a great tool to use.
Cool.
So those are the two.
I like it. Very cool. All right. What's one of the biggest myths business owners need to know the truth about?
That business owner, the biggest myth?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I know
that's a
there's
good
probably
one.
there's I'm sure a lot, but
Oh man, there's so many, but probably I think right now it's sexy, quote, sexy to be an entrepreneur, and it's not. It's like the hardest, crappiest job sometimes you'll ever have. It's rewarding for sure, but there's nothing sexy about it of, 12-hour days or 16-hour days, or like I said, not like, looking at making payroll and you're looking at your bank account and you're like, well, I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. So there's nothing sexy about being an entrepreneur. It's not, it's especially right now in the day and age of digital media, especially like on Instagram. You got these people that are like, entrepreneur, business owner, and like they're just posting in front of cars, and it's like, dude, real recognizes real. Like real business people honestly just don't have time to do that shit. So
yeah. No, I like that a lot. Yeah, people don't see the real story behind, especially startups. You're like, okay, yeah, I got payroll. I have no money. I don't know how to invoice correctly. So I guess I'm going to take some payout advances for my cards, make payroll, and pay them back. So they don't see that.
Most stressful thing you'll ever do is start a business. So
yeah, but like you said, it is rewarding. So
very rewarding.
All right, what's one question I should have asked that I did not?
How did you get started in digital marketing?
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
Like I said, I owned another business, retail retail business. We were a service-based business. And inside of that, I've always been a sales guy. I always loved sales. I always loved interacting with people. And inside of that business, we'd have a lot of companies come into us and be like, you got to be on social media. You got to do that Facebook thing and that Instagram thing and LinkedIn. And we never really believed in it. And we tried a few companies out and we were never really happy. And so we really dug our teeth into it and hired a coach. And I personally fell in love with marketing. It was like the yin to my yang. And that was a big part of our success in my last company, was really nailing down the marketing aspect of business digitally. And that's kind of how I got started in the marketing world.
That's perfect. Yeah, out of necessity. I like that. So as we end here, those people that are listening that maybe are having just a brand new startup and maybe don't have the budgets right now currently to go with someone like a Monarch. Maybe do you have a few tips of advice that they could be doing for advertising that doesn't cost a ton?
Yeah, for sure. I think every business owner, they spend an afternoon on Creator Studio through Facebook, and they can schedule their whole post for the month if they spend an afternoon and they get it done. So it's not weighing on them daily to post or to, I think of free, anything that's free. In the marketing world, especially, it's like Facebook and Instagram is huge. Start getting that following up, start getting some CTAs in there, and you'll generate a buzz about you. And, if you don't have a lot of time and if you don't have a lot of money, Creator Studio, Sunday afternoon, before you start on Monday, you could even do it a week at a time. That's low cost and low time. And you'll have all your posts scheduled for you in advance.
I like it a lot. So the theme of this episode, I would say, is, have your call to action, of course, add value, and know that haters are going to hate.
And be consistent.
And be consistent. There you go. All right, man. I appreciate it. And always, as everyone listening, keep on listening. But before we go, Morgan, if people want to get a hold of you and Monarch, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys for your services?
Yeah, so we obviously we're going to be on social medias. So you can visit us at Monarch Social Brands or Monarch Social. That's Facebook or Instagram. You can visit our website to see all our services at www.monarchsocialbrand.com. I
like it. I like it a lot. Everyone listening, remember, haters are going to hate. Don't let that bother you. Add value. Get yourself some call to actions, not 1,000, but 1 to 2. And let's rock and roll and go out and conquer your day. Until next time, keep listening to the Idaho Business Podcast. Thanks, Morgan.
Thanks, Spencer. I appreciate you.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.